This is Asheville Ski Club. We're the second Tuesday, January 12th, 7 p.m. Our regular club trip meeting. There's a ghost behind me. I'm not sure what it is. Oh, it scared me. No, I'm not scared of anything. Welcome, everybody. Do we have any first-time members here tonight? First-time members? I want to recognize, I don't see him on there now, is that we had someone here that's going to Telluride.
John Catledge.
John, yeah, but I don't see him.
He's there.
All right, he dropped off.
He dropped off. But anyway, John said he is planning on going, and so I'm excited for him. And I said, you do know it was canceled, right? And he said, oh, yeah, but I'm still going.
I got your Telluride update for you.
Okay, good. No first-time members. If we could, is that minutes. Peter, can you give us the highlights of our minutes from last time? And is there any task that we need to take care of or make sure we followed up through?
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me get to that.
Yeah, while he's looking, do you think there might be a way where more people can be encouraged to join these meetings? Unless somebody's getting communications that say, we don't know what's going on. It's like, well, guys, check your email.
Yeah, and also we are recording it, and Tom is sending out the video out when he sends it out. So
okay.
They are getting it.
Okay, good.
All right, just give me a moment. I'll have it up on screen.
That's fine. And I'm putting them on a YouTube channel for Asheville Ski Club. And that way, if anybody wants to go back and look at them or do any previews, they're welcome to go back. I can share that with them.
Wayne, we also sent out a notice about the meeting separate from the newsletter. I mean, it's well broadcast out there. So I don't know what more you can do. Text everybody somehow. I don't know.
No, that's good enough. You can't handhold people. So that's all right.
I think maybe the lack of interest is there's, it's a regular meeting, and there's really no trips going on except for Bachelor. And so sometimes people come to the meetings, mainly to be able to come and maybe have a beer, eat some free food, and network and, find out what's going on. So since we're not, in person, and now we're doing virtual, sometimes that takes the incentive away. But, in the last meetings, we've had 12, maybe 13 people. It looks like tonight we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 8th one, it just dropped off. Maybe he'll come back. And so we are down a little bit. But the ones that want to eat will eat. And the ones that don't, they won't. But we are making sure everything is recorded.
I'm in the background.
Peter.
Bob's in the background. Add him in.
Okay.
Oh, Bob's in the background. Okay.
Add Bob.
All right. I got the meetings up here and I'll read a quick summary.
Okay.
Wayne opened the meeting and asked me to read the minutes. I read the minutes from the last meeting. Kay gave a summary of the treasurer's report showing that the club currently has about $52,000 in our reserve funds. She stated that in spite of revenue shortfalls due to membership, lack of membership dues and lack of club ski trip revenue, the club will still be financially sound for 2021. Kay also discussed the status of club members on the email list, and she and Tom seem to be working on that regarding removing non-participating members who have not been participating for the last 2 or 3 years. They can probably update you tonight on what's happening on that. Kay mentioned that the board needs to reestablish the November 1st date as the due date for club membership dues. Jan suggested raising the cost after November 1st for membership as an incentive to get people to register before that. There could be a discussion tonight also about how to deal with people who become members sometime between the fiscal end of the year, which is in the summer, and that November 1st date. Tom reviewed the submissions for the e-newsletter contest, the phony adventure story that was given, the award was given to Steve Bowers. Greg Caspers gave us an update on the council trip to Telluride, and I'm sure Greg will update us once again tonight on what's happening with that. Jan gave an update on the Mount Bachelor trip that's still scheduled for mid-April. She'll give us an update tonight, hopefully, on that. I believe at that time, 12 members were currently signed up for it. Jan said that 20 members would be needed to assure the trip would actually run and occur. Jan also mentioned planning for a hike and kayak trip in Croatia sometime in August of 2021, and there will be more information coming on that. Wayne reminded members that there is a ski club trip waiver form that's part of the membership sign-up application page on the website for the club, and some suggestions were made from members about how to make other members signing up for membership more aware of that waiver. And that was basically last week's meeting.
Was there anything that we needed to act on that needs to be reported back today? I don't remember hearing.
No, I don't have anything in the minutes regarding that.
Okay, we need to get the approval of the minutes. All in favor of the minutes, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. E-I-O.
Aye.
Aye.
All against, nay. Ayes, I got it. Okay, thank you for that, Peter. Kay, are you ready to give a treasurer's report?
Sure. So we have a total of $52,842 in our account at this point. We have that $25,000 CD that's going to come due, mature in February. So need to make a decision about whether to just continue to roll it over. It has a very low interest rate, but that's the deal with CDs right now. So I'll look around, but right now I think we'll probably just roll it over again.
Right. I don't think we need permission to get it rolled over. If we're going to do anything else with it, we'd probably need to get that permission, but just for it to roll over, I don't think that we're needed in the general fund, right?
Right. No, I wouldn't do anything without letting people know. I just
But I'm
thought,
saying we're not needing the money in the general fund for any reason. So
no.
yeah, I would just go ahead and just re-roll it unless anybody has any objections, just roll it back over.
Okay. No, it's a very reassuring safety net right now. We have collected more dues recently because of the beginning of racing season, which is terrific. So we've got that coming in. We have two outlays to anticipate. One is the payment for our accountant to do the our taxes, which were postponed. I would imagine that John Michael will take care of that in the next 2 weeks. And we'll have to pay the Crescent racing fees, but that should be match what we've collected, should be going out. So it should be a net zero finance for us. So that's basically where we're at with the finances. We're not spending any money. We don't have any meetings. So, it's sad that we don't have any expenses, but it's good that we don't have any expenses. So we just have to, get through this year financially, and we should be in good shape to do that. Do you want me to talk about what Jim, Tom, and I have done with the membership list?
Hold on, let me get the approval for the treasury report.
Okay.
I need a motion to accept the treasury report.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Ayes have got it. All right, go ahead for membership. Are you speaking on behalf of Jim tonight for membership?
Yeah. So what we've done is a very small step forward. What we did was we created a 2-tiered membership list. So we took off of the list anyone who had not paid taxes prior to when Jim and I took over.
Taxes are
So-
are due.
Taxes?
I'm sorry, taxes. Sorry. That's one of those days.
That's good catch.
Yeah, we don't have any taxes. That's a good thing.
Bumps off the list.
Yep. No, I was just thinking about the interchange with John Michael, who is going to do our taxes for us. Sorry. So what Jim and I have been doing is to record the exact date that people make their membership dues paid. So that's recorded. And so we can sort the spreadsheet then by the date that people have paid. Anyone who did not have any date recorded, that meant that it had to have been prior to 2017. So we put those people, we just removed that portion of the membership list, put it on a separate sheet. We haven't deleted them from our list of people, but Tom's not going to use those people when he sends out all of the blanket information via email. So that's the first step. And then I think that we really are at a point where we should think about what we do forward with the way that we collect the dues. And I'm not really sure that, I mean, I don't know that this is the kind of time that we want to do that, Wayne. I'm going to defer to you.
Do you have a recommendation that you and Jim have talked about?
Well, the biggest recommendation is to not do anything right now. I just think we don't have any live meetings. We have one, and Jen, I'm hoping to hear positive things from you. We have one ski trip. You're shaking your head.
I've had one more person sign up since last month. One. Even sending out the special notice saying, you get a sexy new face mask with a logo on it.
So,
you know.
Kay, are you saying you're talking about people who haven't submitted dues since 2017?
Those are the ones we took off the list.
Okay, yeah,
But we have been sending out, I mean, we have I didn't do the count exactly by the number of people, but I can tell you we have about 67 lines of members who have currently paid this year. So the people who have paid this year is quite small compared to the previous years.
67?
It's more than that because that's just a number of lines. I'm sorry, I did not go back and count exactly. You have families who have 4 people, you have couples, so it's more than that. But we have had and we will get some more members for racing season that continues to dribble in. But
can I interrupt just a moment? If you have 67 lines, that is 67 memberships, because they are, all the people on that line are part of the same membership. Each line represents a membership.
Yep.
Not the number of people, but it's the number of membership. And one thing I noticed, I just talk a little bit here, because as I send out the newsletter, I get so many kickbacks of emails that are outdated or full or whatever this thing is. I get so many kickbacks, and I send those off to Jimmy, or you, so that you can check those out. But I know you removed a bunch, but it really wasn't a lot. We went like from 330 down to 248 or something like that. And we still have a lot of lines of what you call the primary list, or you call it the complete list, which is the current, I would call it the current list, meaning it's the current number of people that are to be getting the newsletter and mail outs and so forth. I applaud what you're doing. I'm just feeling like there's an awful lot of people. And when you say 2017, you're really saying the 2017/18 season dues. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty old. And I think that it just seems to me that I don't know if a lot of people are just paying their dues, but not really paying attention, or what it is. But the newsletter responses are minimal. I never get anything for the recipes. I'm talking about the recipe thing I started at the Lisa and we all started these recipes. Not one person has submitted a recipe. When Jan has some good ideas about the games, we got 2 submittals to the game thing. And I've not seen a single response to Jan's second suggestion about not a game, but tell us what you'd like to do, where you'd like to ski, whatnot. Not a single response to any of that. I don't know if Wayne has been getting those or Jan, but I'm not getting them.
Well, how about, like Tom just said, although Tom, on your picture, it says you're Linda, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about the sex.
News at a later date on that one. But can you, so that he doesn't get 100 kickbacks of people it's not delivering to, how about like through the end of 2018, just take those people off the list, save them to the side somewhere, but
She's doing,
take them off.
that's what she's doing.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, and I say they've done a good job. Actually, Jimmy and together with Kay, they have the kickbacks are far fewer than they used to be because they have responded with getting them out of or getting the things corrected. They're like, you know how emails are very sensitive to any kind of typo, one wrong letter and it blows it out. So they've corrected a whole bunch of those. So that has diminished a lot. And but I was surprised that there weren't more people being kicked off of the complete list through the method that you talked about.
well, Tom, I think that that's really a discussion. I wanted to make the first step.
Right, yeah.
And then Wayne and we had another discussion before where Wayne was saying that he really felt that since it didn't effectively cost us anything to send the newsletter out,
Yeah, right.
that it was a good way of reaching people even if they did not have active membership. Now, we can change the way we think about that, and we can easily sort through, and we can send, we can send the newsletter out just to those people who have paid their dues. And where I was saying, I don't know that we should do anything aggressive about it right now. It's that I think that come the beginning of next season, what we should do is to send out 2 letters. One letter saying, thank you for keeping your membership alive last year. We really appreciate it. It's great and it's due again. And then to the other group of people, we send out a nicely written letter saying, hey, we haven't seen you at a meeting because we didn't have any. And we're excited about this new year because we're going to be able to see each other. And by the way, if you want to continue getting newsletters and if you want to continue signing up for trips, you do need to pay your dues. And we have a 2-tiered approach next year. And I hesitate to do that now because we're not going to meet and we have maybe no trips. And until we've got that going, I think we just let it go.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you. I really agree with that. And I think you've done exactly the right thing so far. And I agree with that. And it's no skin off my nose whether I'm sending it to 40 people or 400 people. It doesn't make any difference. I just scan down the list, boom. That goes into the BCC column and boom, it's easy. So that's nothing that I worry about. It's just that we have right now supposedly 248 members of what is on the complete list. And it doesn't matter to me. And I think you're absolutely right not to do anything hastily right now because of this COVID mess that we're all in. And God knows the way the numbers are going with COVID, we might be going for another year. I mean, I don't know how many of these. I went skiing up at Wolf Laurel on Thursday night. There was no problem. I mean, I just went skiing with my kids and the and their kids. And I sort of wore a mask, sort of didn't, you know, I mean, but it's outside skiing's kind of thing you can do without, but you know, some of the ski resorts, the major ski resorts, I guess still have some pretty restrictive procedures in place, but
So I think we're in agreement that we got to make sure the lists are separated, but we continue sending the full list of email addresses that we have, both active and inactive, the newsletter, hoping that we keep them engaged. At least something's coming in their inbox once a month. And when we start promoting trips for next year, we won't be starting with 25 people. We'll be starting with 250, 300 people to start marketing those trips. And then once trips start to get active again, we know this, and Jan can back this up, we're going to get people joining to be able to go on these trips. Right, Jan?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
let me just, on that point, Wayne, that you just made, what Kay and I have discussed, and I agree with her on this, but we can change it no matter, is that I would send the newsletter out to the people on what's called the complete list. And what's called the complete list, I think a better term for it would be the current list, but
Sure.
people, you know, I would call it, maybe change the name of it to current list, but and there's the second list is called deleted list. Now, they're not really deleted, but what we agreed to was that I would send the newsletter out to the complete list, which is the 240 people, roughly, I forget the number, 248, whatever it is, and not the other 70 or whatever it was that she took off.
Okay.
So, you know, I will only send the the newsletter email to that complete list. So, but if you want me to send it out to the complete list and the deleted, whatever it's called.
I think the deleted list is people that haven't been in contact with us since 2017.
Right.
You're right. The list should be renamed current versus complete, but the current list is holding on to people who haven't paid their dues.
Right.
Since 2018-19.
Okay.
And so it still has that's a long time for us to carry somebody who hasn't paid their dues. Right. But I think with the current COVID thing, we take care of it this end of this summer.
I agree with you. I felt in agreement with your decision to send it just to the complete list or current list, whatever you want to call it, because I think that's a rational thing to do. If you want me to do it differently, Wayne, if you think that maybe we should do both lists right now and send it
Let me
out.
just get some feedback from other folks here I haven't heard. Margaret, give us some feedback.
You have to unmute, Margaret.
And
You're muted.
while we're waiting for
Can
the
you
Hear me now?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm with just sending it to current members. It would be interesting to see if somebody that doesn't get their newsletter actually contacts you and says, hey, by the way, I didn't get my newsletter. Why not, or something. I'd be willing to bet nobody's going to do that. But I've always felt that the newsletter it's kind of a benefit of being a member. You're getting these inside deals when we have trips and so forth and so on. You know, it's a known fact. We have members that join just to get access to information about other members for their businesses and stuff. And I just think it ought to goes out to current members. If anybody is upset they're not off, they can contact somebody and there's an opportunity. Well, you know, we'd love to have you be a member again. Something along those lines.
Okay. Thank you very much. Who else have we not heard from?
I'd like to make a quick comment. I agree with what has been said here regarding the newer list and the deleted list, but I would maybe recommend one thing. When club trips come up, maybe send some kind of an email or some kind of, if it's in the e-news that particular month, send it out to everybody. See if you can catch some more people that way. If when it becomes time to announce trips, but
Okay.
just
I
that one,
think
just
with-
that one time.
I think with the trip announcements that you almost should have it going, the trip announcements should go the first out to the people who are currently paid members. I think
Okay,
that the
that's
people who
good.
have maintained their memberships and renewed their memberships on time, that they should get the first.
So they get a priority, but then
Yeah.
afterwards do a sweep through the deleted list and just let them get a chance to make a comment or make a contact back if they're interested.
Right, because those
But I agree
names,
with Kay,
those
priority.
names have probably gone on a trip, and so it'd be no different if we put an ad in the newspaper marketing a trip. You know, we're sending out to everybody that's not even a member. So those, at least those email addresses that we've got that are no longer current, at least they've probably gone on a trip with us at some point, and they are a group that we want to market to. That's why I don't want to delete them. But I'm in agreement. We'll keep it current, the 240, ever how many that is, the 240. And that's what's continue getting the newsletter. And then Jan, when it comes time to be able to start marketing, Greg, you know, we'll get access to these other email addresses and we'll send them out a letter. We understand you're no longer current. We'd like to invite you back. We've got a great line of trips coming up. Got this, this, and this. Please consider rejoining and being part of our trips this year. What do you think, Jan?
I like that idea. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I
But
like that.
Sorry, Jane, go ahead.
That's all. It just sounds like a good idea to me. Now, I have my own email list of people who typically go on overseas trips. Those I automatically let them know because they're people who typically go on my overseas trips. And the club, I can put it out to the club, and not so many members who actively are involved in the club go. That's the only thing.
We just want to make sure
I
that
put it out-
that we don't get folks signing up that are not members over people that have paid the membership. So we just need to make sure we get it out initially to the club. And then
Yeah.
whether it's 2 weeks later or 30 days later, then we send it out to folks that are not on that list and allow them. But, you know, if you snooze, you lose, you snore, you lose more. But we do definitely want to give our members first bids on getting trips.
Let me ask a question about trips. And that is this, in a normal year, and I know this is not this last year and a half or 2-year period where we're in, it's not normal, but in a normal year, about when during the year are the trips defined for the following season?
June 1st.
June 1st. Okay, and the dues are not due until November 1st. And I've always had a little bit of a trouble with that time frame thing. I mean, if we're going to get the trips announced in June, or in June, okay, by June or whatever, by the end of June, certainly. To me, if you're interested in a trip and you want to sign up, you're supposed to have your dues in. And yet you've got to November 1st to pay them. It just seems uncomfortable to me to say, okay, we got Joe Schmo here who wants to go on the snowmass trip, let's call it, and he's already signed up and it's into Margaret or whoever's running the trip and yada, yada, but he's not paid his dues yet, but he doesn't have to until November 1st.
Right. 80 to 90% of people that sign up for a trip June 1st are already a member from the previous year. So they're good standing on June 1st. They sign up for it. There might be 10% that's signing up for a trip that don't know about our club, just found out about it based on marketing, that join the trip. And of course, you know, they may not pay. So it's always been back and forth on when's due. And after March, if somebody pays after March, do we count that to the following year? It's always been up about whether or not to count them or not. Okay.
That's where I think we have to make it clear. And I think that's why we've gotten into trouble. I think that your membership dues, we can accept the membership dues at the beginning of the fiscal year, which would mean June 1. So anything that's June 1 is current for that fiscal year. If you paid your dues in February to go on a trip, I don't think that means that you've paid your dues for the next fiscal year. We've been doing that and it's a mess.
Okay.
It's a total mess. And I think that I think that an awful lot of people who pay their dues in February to go on a trip do for one trip, and then they're not going on any other things and they're not involved. If they decide that they want to do another trip, if they can afford to pay a $2,000 ski trip fee, they can afford to pay $35 for a membership for the next fiscal year. We've been carrying people for a year and a half and sometimes longer, saying that that they've paid up their membership, and it's crazy, and it creates all kinds of issues in terms of, are they current, are they not current, is January okay or is March okay? It's a mess, and that's part of the problem. And so I think we have to spell out, this is the time frame to pay your dues. You have to be a member to be on a trip, and there aren't any excuses, and we don't play games with it anymore.
That's why I suggested to Kay, separately from you guys, I suggested a possible incentive to pay your dues by the end of June. Maybe a discount or some little thing. But she's right. To pay the $35 or the $60 for family membership is no big skin off your nose. And if you want to sign up for a trip to Aspen, Snowmass, whatever it is, I'm just using that example, that's in February of the following season, the fact that your current dues are paid to go to, it's a disconnect there. And you're going to sign up for the Aspen Snowmass trip. Remember Jan and Snowmass, what was Jan? Anyway, there was this trip that said, let's get paid, early date, get on the board. And it was way early last year in 2019 that you could sign up for it. The trip was 2021. And
Right, 2 years in
I
advance.
just have a problem with this whole
Yeah.
of timing.
What are our bylaws? Are they specific about when our dues are paid?
I'm in there now looking for them. So
Yeah,
Because
but
if-
I've looked at them. Your dues are supposedly paid by November 1, and there's no provision for extending it. And there's nothing about if you pay them in February, you're okay. It
but it would
just
take a
isn't.
bylaw change, though.
It would have to take a
in
bylaw
fiscal
change.
year. We used to give discounts, Tom, if people, membership notices were sent out to everybody, email forms, the membership form. And if they renewed, they were sent out in September. If they renewed before November, they got a discount, $5 membership discount or something. And then we did away with that several years ago. I don't remember, maybe Jan remembers when.
I don't remember exactly who was the president then. I'm thinking maybe Phil Casey when that happened. And I know I was opposed to it because it might not be much, but it's enough incentive for some people.
This,
I think the board needs to think about this, Wayne. I mean, enough people are saying, hey, it's a little strange the way we do things. That maybe we change nothing. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's always seemed a little queer to me that this, you can sign up for a trip. You don't have to be current on your dues. And then hopefully, and then Kay has to chase, or somebody, Jimmy or Kay or somebody has to chase down whether that person's, or the trip leader or somebody has to chase down whether that person who signed up is paid up for dues.
Yeah, I don't think that people should be able to sign up for a trip unless they've paid their dues.
I agree.
I just don't.
Pay the
And-
dues for that season, but the trip is
Right. And some clubs have made an arrangement with Sarah, and they can't sign up unless their dues are currently paid.
I
They'll
was going to ask you that
electronically-
very question because I've signed up with other clubs, particularly Charlotte Club, and I could not do anything until I paid that membership on the form.
yeah,
So,
we're the only club that doesn't do it, I think.
well, I think that would be a very good suggestion, Kate, to sort of implement that into the electronic sign up for the trip.
And the one.
Now, you still have to discuss in terms of somebody signing up June 1st. That's for basically the next, that's from June 1st of, let's just say, 2021 all the way to June 1st, 2022. So it covers ski trips from the 2022 season, January, February, March. Is that correct?
Right. Exactly.
All right.
Is there anything wrong with us offering a trip and boost up the price? Like the price is $1,250 if you're a member, $1,300 if you're not a member. Okay, it's $50. It's cheaper to join the club than it is, it's cheaper to get a membership. Plus you got all other benefits. But
Margaret, you want to speak on that based on us being a travel club versus, just,
yeah, that's a problem though.
Yeah, you can't, that opens the door for big liability issues. If IRS says, we want your membership list and you've got a person on there that's not a member of a club, you can get in trouble. Yeah, that's a can of worms.
In
Correct.
fact, a club last year got fined, a smaller club got fined a substantial amount of money because they had a couple of people on the trip that were not members.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know
they clamped down on it really fast.
Well, my thinking was that people would automatically join because it's cheaper to join than it is to not join.
right. I think if we did that, it would throw flags up to IRS and go, oh, they're accepting folks that are not members, even though we would require them to be a member. I think it would just throw up flags for them to be able to come in and do an audit. So there could be a discount on the trip. You could say the trip is $1,250. If you pay by this date, you can pay $1,225 and have a discount.
Yeah, I think Charlotte does that. That's a good idea.
Why don't you just go after the sign up date? If you sign up for membership, then you will be able to go to the website to sign up for these trips. Why not just have a gate control to the website?
Don,
Well,
you
I don't
should,
have to do that.
Well, all right, the webmaster would have to basically, as they're selecting the form, they'd have to look up on the list who's signed up and who isn't. If you're not signed up, an alert box shows up immediately. We cannot accept the a reservation for the trip because you're not a member. Please contact the club or sign up for membership right now or on the website. And that the webmaster could set something like that up.
Can I offer something up? We are 45 minutes into this meeting and we are still beating this financial thing. No, people don't want to join the meeting.
yeah,
Well, it sounds like things that should be brought up at a board
This is a
meeting.
board meeting,
too.
not
Yeah,
a
that's true.
club
A
meeting.
general membership meeting.
Or you're gonna lose me here in 2 minutes.
Well, we
He
try
wants
to keep it to an
He
hour.
wants to give us update on.
Stay awake
on
for an
club.
hour, Greg. Just an hour. Stay awake just an hour.
Wayne,
all
did-
right. So I think that we've gotten very far in this, and I think we've got some movement and some ideas, and I think that it really is a board meeting discussion and not a general membership meeting.
Well, we
So-
got to get feedback from the general membership on what is something good. So that's what we've done. We've got feedback, and so we'll go to a board meeting and say, here's what we're hearing. So I think it is important that we hear from our membership. Okay. Anything else to report on membership, Ms. Kay, on behalf of Jim? Okay. Trips reports. Jan Van Dyne, talk about Mount Bachelor.
It's just not selling. It really isn't. Since last month, one more person has signed up. So at this rate, and we're going to close it out in 2 weeks, and I still need about 9 people to go, or 8 people to make this work, and it's not happening. The vaccines aren't getting out there fast enough. Some people are not getting their refunds fast enough from trips that were canceled. I had one guy I thought had signed up, but then I didn't see him. I didn't see his name on the list. And so I went back and Sarah sent me the emails that she had going with him. And he said, I signed up for this trip and that trip, and I haven't gotten my money back yet. And when am I going to get my money back on those before I sign up for anything else? And she said, I'm working on it.
Okay.
But, you know,
Do we need to send out another email just saying you got 2 weeks left to be able to sign up for this bachelor trip? Do we need to do another push?
fine with me.
I mean, how are you doing as far as shots go? I mean, if you don't get a shot or it's late, I mean, is that going to put you in a bind to go on this trip?
It really will.
Okay.
It really will. That's made me nervous. I thought when I set up this trip way back last April, that surely, in fact, I think it was before April, I thought surely everything would be handled by now, and it isn't. And they said there are 40,000
Not a
people.
vaccine back in April.
Pardon me?
Back in April, no one anticipated a vaccine, though. You know, that wasn't the, it's just they keep shutting down the economy, which just makes it even worse. I don't know. Tough
so
answers out there.
do we just let it ride
Well-
out? And if we get the numbers, great. If not, then we cancel it at the end of the month and let you.
Yes. Yes, well, it's interesting to note, remember that Sarah sent us a notice saying that Mount Bachelor had closed for a couple months there. And she let us know when, the end of the month or something, or end of January, whether they had been opened back up to groups, it had been closed to groups. So it's really an awkward time. If it doesn't go, it just doesn't go, and we'll just have to work harder next year
Okay.
to get trips.
All right.
Ken, if you want to send out another one, I'll be glad to, blast it out to everybody. It's no problem to do that. For me.
Okay,
I mean, if you want to
Okay.
word it for me, the way you want to word it, and I'll just bang
I'll
it
just
out.
keep my
there.
fingers crossed that I get my shots beforehand.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's good. Croatia. You want to talk about Croatia, Jan?
I haven't done anything more with that than last month, since last month. The trip is the same one that was supposed to run this past September and didn't because of COVID. It's the identical trip. It may cost a little bit more now, but it's the identical trip. I have 9 people from the last trip that are ready to go on this one. But they would need another 7 to fill it. Bob, would you get me some water, please? So I'm going to put something out on that. Probably I'll put something in the newsletter, a little blurb to see if there's anybody in the club that's interested. But people haven't been responding well to the newsletter.
Yeah.
And,
Lethargic.
That's really frustrating because that's such a good newsletter. And it's got such great stuff in it.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm always disappointed when I get emails from somebody. They'll direct them to me sometimes and ask a question that was clearly answered in the newsletter. Like, well, they didn't read the newsletter very thoroughly.
But the main thing is that in the newsletter, it's giving our history, and people like Margaret and others, I do, we save those. And if we need to go back and see about a trip or when something was done, we always go back. Yeah. It is part of the history of the club that's being kept. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and it's archived on the website too. I mean, there are things I think that need to be done with the website, but all the newsletters are archived on that website.
Send me an email because I try to keep up with the the dailies on it, but anything major, I got to go back to the webmaster. But if you need some updates or changes, let me know. Side meeting, and I'll see if I can get those done for you for the
Okay.
website. All right, Greg, you want to talk about Telluride?
Yeah, hang on. I just lost your screen.
That's fine. I'll go to Margaret. Margaret, anything about Steamboat?
No, refunds are coming, and y'all have to remember that Crescent and Asheville aren't the only clubs Sports America works with. They work with Texas Ski Council, which has thousands of members and everything else, and they're getting them out as fast as they can.
Right. Atlanta, I think Atlanta has 5,000, so I'm sure they were booked out too. So
Yeah.
just keep us posted on anything else with Crescent while I've got you.
I haven't heard anything else about the beach. I know you gave the deadline.
And no one has signed up with me.
No one has?
Nope.
Is that okay? And I haven't talked with Michelle. I would imagine in the March President's update, she'll address how many, because that's the deadline was the 15th. That'll give them a number. I mean, it's going to go, period, because they're in the penalty zone. So unless the state shuts it down, there will be a convention. So that's all I know.
Okay. Thank you. Greg?
Yeah, I'm back. Regarding Telluride, and I think is John, are you on the meeting?
John's on.
Okay. So Telluride was basically canceled from a council perspective because of the state mandate, no multiple families in units, and the fact that they'd have to all split up. Telluride could not handle those accommodations. However, the people who still want to go, and for Asheville, we've got 4 people that are still on the list. It's John and Patty Campbell and Kathleen Ordway and Joan Steed. They still get a great rate. And by the way, if you have a condo and you don't have to share it with anyone, you have a really badass room up there by yourself. I'm assured that the flights are still good. The transfer from the airport to Telluride is good. The reservations for ski tickets on the mountain for the entire stay are good. And I understand today that the county that Telluride's in just changed it from red to orange, which means 25% seating indoors, because who wants to eat outdoors on a cold January night in Telluride? You don't want to do that. So the people that are going are all totally taken care of. I did check the snow conditions, and I'm going to remind people to please watch out that January weather in Colorado can be 40 degrees in the day, or it can top out at 5 below zero during the day. And that is very real. Right now, I think at the end of this week, the high is like 2 degrees. And they're waiting and praying for a big dump, because I think it's the base is not as near as high as they'd like it to be. But everyone who's going set, there are 26 people from the council going instead of the 88 or 92 we were at. So people are hanging in there, and they're going to go for it and have a great time. So my job is to make sure our people are taken care of. And I think Sarah has reached out to everyone, and she's already got refunds coming back 100% to everybody who decided not to go. And I've already got my refund. So they're all good. So they're doing a great job, like Sean at Holidays did for Spain. I got like 95% of my money back. So they're on it. And I'll let everyone know. I've got a couple of great recommendations for restaurants.
Hey, John, are you there? John? John.
He's trying.
He's there. Hey, John, you there?
He can't talk.
Cat's got his tongue.
How do you get to see all of the pictures? I see 4 people.
There
It's
should be an arrow up there. It says view. And hit a little arrow there.
No.
Up
In
and
the
right.
upper
see.
right-hand corner, there should be a view icon. Click that, you get a drop-down menu.
I
You'll either
just-
see speaker or gallery. You want gallery.
Gallery.
Oh,
Hey, John, while you're here, we just want to give an update is that I think you said you were working on your travel arrangements today. You're excited about Telluride. Tell us what kind of room you got.
we
Name ready,
can't
read
hear you,
lips. Does it sound like condo?
What's happening, John? Can you-
Your own 3-bedroom condo, dude.
Studio, all right.
We were talking earlier. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think I've muted him. No.
He probably has his input wrong in terms of built-in
he's-
mic and system.
No, we
He's
talked
not-
earlier.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
we're
he was,
talking about you, John. So suck it up, man. So that's my update on Telluride. I hope that gets everyone where you need to be on that one.
Thank you. Just an update on the waivers we talked about meeting or two ago. Those are on the bottom of the Asheville Ski Club application. So by them signing it, they are signing the waiver. So that has been taken care of. Tom, talk to us about the newsletter. What's happening? Tom Bouchard.
Yeah, I had to unmute. No, the newsletter is going fine. There's not a lot of news. That's not the problem. No, with all the trip cancellations slash possible cancellations, it's a bit dicey.
Blame it on the election.
Yeah, blame it on, yeah, nothing better, no better time to have a pandemic than during an election year in America. That's always great. But anyway, it's, everything's going okay as far as getting it out. We've talked about that ad nauseum here about who should get the newsletter and so forth. And I look forward to the board coming up with a determination about these timing issues we talked about and and who should get the newsletter. But no problem. I continue to just enjoy doing it. I would like to see more input from our members. Like I said, we have the recipe thing, we have the contests, whatever you want to call the games. And in all cases, I get hardly any responses. And so it tells me that either people are not reading the newsletter or they're just not interested enough to participate. So, when you have 248 at least current members, it's kind of surprising that nobody bothers to respond to these opportunities to participate. So I'd say that's my disappointment. But other than that, I don't have any problem doing the newsletter. I'll continue to do it.
Thank you for doing that. You really do a great job on it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
You the man.
You bet.
I don't have anything else. Is there anything else from the group as a whole? We do need to have a board meeting because we got an action list item on talking about the membership. And let me just briefly, on January 21st, I think that's a Thursday. Peter, Jan, Kay, are you guys available 7 p.m. on the 21st?
Oh, my social schedule is so busy right now.
Actually,
I
Wayne,
am not available.
I'm not
Take
available
another
either.
shot, Jan.
I have a conflict that night.
Okay.
Oh, that was water.
How about Wednesday, the inauguration day?
Okay, Margaret, cat competition. Mine's better than yours. You have the most pampered cat I've ever seen. The way
She's very shy. She won't come out if anybody's here. My grandkids have rarely seen my cats.
I have an interesting fact.
Oh, oh, look.
That's a
Look.
big cat.
Now, I have an interesting fact. I was on with my company in Hong Kong today, and they said last year in December, there were 61 million visitors, and they depend on trade in and out. This December, there were 5,000,
Hmm.
and that's it. And they are just reeling from it because, and they said, don't even plan on doing anything. Maybe next Thanksgiving we can go visit people. But my buddies here in the US were going, we've been skiing a couple times, da da da. And I thought he was going to reach through the screen and just rip their throat out because they're not kidding over there. But can you imagine from 60 million to 5,000?
Wow.
And they've had the combination of the COVID and political unrest and everything you can name. And China
It's
shutting them down. I mean,
it's mostly COVID. And
perfect storm.
my guy in the UK said, they said, are you going to come visit us? He's like, no, hell no.
Hey, before we go any further, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I encourage you all just to stick around afterwards, but at this time, I'm going to say good night.